Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to this module, fourth module of security requirements in Internet of Things. So, before we today will be talking about the security concerns in Internet of Things. Now, before we go any further, we have already discussed the security threats which are related to the sensing layer or perception layer, and we also talked about the security threats and concerns in the network layer. So today we'll be talking about the prevailing security threats, or major security threats in the uh, service layer of Internet of Things. Now, as we all know that Internet of Things is basically it's basically a you know global, it is basically a global interconnection of connected smart things. And IoT solutions, if we talk of today, IoT solutions have become pervasive, regular parts of our lives. They, if we say that Internet of Things is now pervasive in our lives, is now pervasive in our lives, will not be wrong. Now, take any example from smartwatch, that is on everybody's wrist nowadays, to industrial enterprises, to smart traffic management systems, smart pollution control system, a lot of disaster management, smart disaster management systems, connected devices, and connected mobile phones, connected smart entities. Having these things work for us with minimal risk is still a very what do you call as distant hypothesis or fantasy, I must say. So we are living in a world where you tap on a screen, or screen of your laptop or your smartphone, or simply press a microphone button on your what do you call as mobile phone, and just say a word and get immediate results for your searches or whatever you are looking for. A door of thousand options automatically opens on just a tap, or just a word uttered from your mouth. May it be a coffee machine that automatically starts to grind and prepare grind the coffee beans and prepare hot coffee for you, or maybe you start up your car and the air conditioner system at your house, that may be placed 2 3 5 10 miles away, automatically starts up to maintain a cozy temperature for your kind self. But between your uttering of a word, between you utter a word, you give a command, may it be a tap on a screen or some word, or you type something or you press some button, and the task to be fulfilled. So between the initialization of the service, suppose you tap a word, you initialized some sort of service, you initialized, and uh, once you do this, the task automatically gets fulfilled, the task get fulfilled for you, the task gets fulfilled for you. Between this scenario, there lies there lies a large number of invisible commands, instructions, flowing from one entity to another, one sensor to another, one layer of Internet of Things to another layer of Internet of Things. Thousands of resources, thousands of network resources, they work collaboratively to fulfill the single word uttered by your kind self, the single word uttered by your kind self. So that is engineering. That is what I want you guys to visualize and to understand, and to get acclimatized with it and start thinking in a direction, so that once you are there sitting on that responsible chair of maintaining, managing these networks for, maybe companies like Cisco, IBM or Intel, so you should be able to provide some constructive solutions. So before all we all go there, let's come back to the classroom and once again recall the Internet of Things architecture that we discussed. So we talked about a very simple architecture of Internet of Things, starting from you say service service layer, then network. I don't know, something stupid is happening with my stylus, but let's network layer, and then we talked about application layer, and then we talked about application layer. Majority of the as we all know that any further, we should again recall that thing that I keeps on saying to you guys, that there is no single or agreed upon IoT in architecture till date. There is nothing fixed. There is actually, let me change the ink and maybe there is nothing fixed till date. There is nothing fixed in Internet of Things. There is no what you call as fixed architecture for Internet of Things available till days. It actually varies in complexity, number of architecture layers depending upon a particular business task or particular what you call as application or particular application. So some say that Internet of Things is basically three-layer architecture, or if we go slightly in detail for IoT World Forum reference model, they define it as a what you call as 7-layer architecture, starting from the physical devices and controllers, that can be what you call as they say physical devices or sensors. What we say is like sensors or the thing in Internet of Things, which my sensing layer, perception layer, the thing, you can define it any which way. The thing, this is your thing, and then there is connectivity, network layer, community, that is responsible for the communicating and processing your information between the layers. And then there can be edge computing. Now this is a debatable issue. Edge computing devices can be placed, edge devices can be, this are part of network layer. And when we Word Forum defined the connectivity of fog and all, they say that edge computing, edge layer processing of the information at a distance can not be a part of sensing layer. After that, there is data accumulation, that can be your fog storage unit, or that can be your cloud. After that, your this is after edge, then your data accumulation and data. I'll draw this figure properly on the PPT and mail this thing to you on your data abstraction. And then we have your application layer, collaboration, application layer, and then we have your processing, that is collaboration and processing. Now as we said, there is nothing fixed, no matter what layer or what layer architecture you are working upon while designing your application. The key building blocks of any IoT structure are always the same. That is, first one has to be something you need. When we talk of IoT, we talk of data. So for collection of data, that data we need smart thing. This is smart thing can be your sensors, temperature sensor, pressure sensor. It can be your microwave oven. It can be your smart intelligent washing machine, or for that matter air conditioner. Then you need to have connectivity. For connectivity, you need to have the gateways and the networks too, which should enable your low power constraint devices to before they enter the big platform of internet, big platform, or they reach the global platform, that is your www or internet. Now then you need a middleware or a IIT platform. That is where your service layer comes into role. You need middleware or IIT platform to provide data storage, data processing, storage spaces, and processing spaces, advanced computing, advanced data analysis engines, big servers to store, manipulate, extract the what you call as actuatable signal, and to analyze the data to yield some meaningful results. So this middleware or a service layer has to be with the storage, processing and analytical capabilities, and there has to be some application API followed by application layer to allow the end user, or to allow the end application get the task done for which he or she might have subscribed this IoT service. So or to get something move from here and there in this physical world. So one very important thing I would like to quote in here is that Internet of Things is basically something what you call as which connects the physical and the virtual world. So for some action in the physical world, you need data. You pick data from the physical world only, and you process that data virtually on some very distant machines, and you get these things done. But what we actually see is we typed something on a Google and the results manipulated. The things that is happening, the lot of resources, analysis and things that are going behind the scene are the what you call as things which are of our interest. So we'll be going on one to one M2M architecture in live lecture shortly. So today we'll be talking about in slightly in detail with the security concerns with the middleware or the service layer. So as we all are aware of that, so once again let's formally see what middleware or service layer is all about. This service layer stores, analyze and process the data or mammoth amount or huge amount of data that comes from the adjoining layer or transport layer, network layer. It manages and provides the diverse set of services to the lower layer, and it integrates many technologies such as database, cloud computing, fog, edge, big data processing modules, and it consists of collaboratively works on many technologies to do the required task which it is required to process. Or we can say that a common IoT service layer is required by the Internet of Things fraternity or the IoT market to cater the multi-industry IoT applications. And for this, one M2M global initiative is one of the international partnership project which is actually working in this direction on this date to develop a internationally acceptable, viable, secure Internet of Things service layer standards. The common service layer specified by one M2M can be today embedded into a lot of IoT entities such as sensors, end devices, gateways, or higher end servers that are employed by the cloud service provider. And it also provides various IoT common service functionalities such as device authentication, device authorization, device identity management, device registrations, group registration management, security, key exchanges and privacy concerns. So service layer does a lot of things for us, but we actually are not able to see what it is actually doing for us. So today our discussion shall revolve around the what you call as the security concerns. So once again going back to Internet of Things, the service layer, as we discussed, the service layer relies on the middleware technologies, which is an important enabler of the service and subsequent applications. The service layer provides IoT the cost effective and efficient, I should add, cost effective and efficient platform where the hardware and the software platforms used by Internet of Things could be reused by various entities time and again. And we come here again, the service layer basically it requires to provide a reusable and reusable cost effective as well as efficient platform by the hardware and software platforms associated in this network for performing particular or specific tasks. So this Internet of Things Internet of Things illustrate the activities required by this middle service specification, which are undertaken by various standards developed by service providers and organizations. This service layer design based on the common requirement of application, then your APIs, and that is your application program interfaces and service protocols and your service protocols. The core set of these services might include components like event processing service, then your integration services and your analysis services. So the activities or the functionalities which are done for the information exchange, data processing and ontologies, data based communication between services are taken care of by these entities. Like first one is service discovery. It finds the infrastructure or the required hardware and software that can provide the required specific service or particular service and route for the information in a efficient way. So to perform a particular task, you need to if I have to go and pick the water bottle, then I need to go out from my office, move 2 floors down, move towards the canteen, pay him the money, pick the bottle and come back on the same route. So same ways, nothing happens automatically, everything required something or the other to be moved to perform the required task. So service discovery basically it is the process of identifying the hardwares and the softwares which collaboratively would work in accordance to provide the particular function. Second one is service composition. It enables the combination and interaction among these interconnected things. Discovery exploits the relationships of the things to find the desired service. Service composition schedules and recreates more suitable services to obtain most reliable ones. So this is service composition in order to provide the particular service to a particular device. What service composition and what connected devices, in what way they can function is decided by service composition. Then trustworthiness management, it aims to understand that whether the devices are trusted or not, or we can say that it aims to understand the trusted devices and the informations that are provided by the other services. So this trustworthiness management keeps on analyzing the information, the devices, the identities of the devices, and it is responsible for raising the alarm whenever it zeroes down upon some unreliable activity or unreliable device or unreliable node or unreliable information floating in the network. Then obviously service APIs, they provide the interaction between the services and the components that are required to provide services to the end user. If we see literature, you know, a lot of solutions have been reported in the literature in recent past. So, uh, according to the according to the literature or research papers available in the reputed journals from 2011 to 2019 I referred, we can jot down the security requirement in the service layer as: first one, authorization service authentications. Authorization and, you know, authentication is a part of network, and authorization, what level of authorization is the particular entity, like the ERP example that I took. We all are registered in a ERP of Grafik Hill University. We all are entitled to see a particular information. Now you can go and see your information only, as I am, you know, taking the internet of things in your class. So I can see the records of all the 29 students for the subject fundamental of internet of things, like the status of your assignment, the status of your quiz, the status of your classroom, the status of your video lecture attendance, mid-sem marks, etc., etc., etc. But if I want if I want to access some your details or your performance in other subjects, I may not be able to find it. For that I will have to fall back on the either class coordinator or your head of the department. So class coordinator, your class coordinator is entitled to see your performance in all the 6 subjects, but he is not he cannot check the performance of other section, the performance of some student belonging to some other section A, B or C. For that he will require to go to the head of the department. The head of the department can see the performance of all the students from second year to final year in computer science engineering, but then head of the department will not be able to track the performance of guy from mechanical engineering or civil engineering or fashion for that matter. But if we talk of vice chancellor, he can access each and every information that is present on the ERP. So this is authorization. So whether you are authenticated user or not, that is identified either at the sensing layer or at the maximum at the network layer. But what is the limit of your authorization, up till what information you can access, that is decided at the service layer. Then comes the privacy leakage. The main concern that service layer has is privacy leakage and malicious location training, that whether the information of some entity or whether the information which is related to some application is not shall not be leaked to any other application service provider or application. And if there is any malicious or any suspicious activity which is going on around, then to track that malicious location is also responsibility of the service layer. Then service layer is responsible to take care of the service abuses. In Internet of Things, service abuse attack involves illegal abuse of the service, that is particular service is required to perform the particular task, and some illegitimate or what you call as malicious user take care of that service to perform some other tasks. So illegal abuse of the service shall not be shall be restricted, and that is the task of service layer. Like in healthcare like if we talk about some smart hospital, the data of the patients is very confidential to the hospital, but the people who are in pharmacy line, or for that matter these what you call this, these testing labs and all, they would always require to have that data and phone numbers of the patient, so that they can be contacted for routine checkups and medicine daily reviews and n number of things. So this illegal abuse of data and services shall be restricted. Then none of the services which is unsubscribed should be authorized, then node identity, fake nodes identity shall be blocked. That is the responsibility of the service layer, then denial of service attack should not be entertained. We have discussed it. Then replay attack, attackers resend the same data time and again over the network, shall also be prevented by the what do you call as service layer. Then service information sniffer and manipulation. Now the service information sniffer and manipulation requires a long discussion. Now what service information, what this thing exactly means is, now let's take an example. Let's take an example of what do you call as before we go to this service sniffer, we should first slightly know that what is the basic function of network sniffer. And network sniffer are basically able to capture the information sent across the network. When you add this list of the services from the sniffer analysis, it is unlikely that any of the third party utilities, they will be able to do the packet manipulation. So this is basically service information sniffer and manipulation. So whenever any information for any particular service is sent over the network, it is the responsibility of the service layer to prevent any other application or any other network entity to let that information be changed or manipulated, or any sort of manipulation in that data packet or service packet shall be prohibited by any third party, So these are the basic what do you call as security concerns which are present in the network layer. The security solutions that should be able to provide the operations on these layer from this potential threats can be what do you call as resorted as privacy threats, service abuse, then service information manipulation, then reputation. I suppose we forgot. So reputation is nothing but a denial of operations that have been done. Any operation that has been done in the network, if service APIs denies to perform, or that denies that particular event has occurred, that is reputation. So these all are to be prevented by the service layer, along with the routing attack, replay attacks. And replay attacks, we all are aware that the attack resend the information to spoof the receiver, and routing attacks are the attacks on the routing paths. So in order to ensure that data in the service layer security is or we can reframe is this thing as ensuring that data in the service layer security is crucial, but this is quite difficult task to be performed, but it is very important part very important task to be done in order to visualize the threat free internet of things. Basically this security ensuring of security at the service layer involves fragmented, full of competing standards and proprietary solutions. The service oriented architecture that we saw that day is very helpful to improve the security security building of this layer. But as a matter of fact, the two threats, that is one is data transmission security between two entities shall be taken care of. Another, secure service management, is still a very open research issue. So that shall be all for the security concerns for the service layer. We shall meet, we shall discuss security concern and application layer in a modules to come. Thank you.